my name is Jillian and welcome to Frizzbiscuit. So as some of you guys might know, this weekend is the Project for Awesome, that magical time of year where the YouTube community comes together to promote and fundraise for as many charities as we possibly can. I'm going to be talking about the Australian Literacy Numeracy Foundation, which sounds kind of dull, so I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting by balancing books on top of my head while I do so. Maybe shouldn't have started with such a big book. Oh god, let's... So I want to ask you guys a question, and that question is, where do you think you would be without basic literacy and numeracy skills? I know that I definitely wouldn't have been accepted into university, obviously. I wouldn't have the job that I have now, which means I also wouldn't have any money. Even though it's just a casual job in retail, I needed to have literacy skills to write my resume, and I needed to do a math test in order to get hired in my very first job interview. I also wouldn't have half the friends that I have now that I've met through various pop culture groups and online and through a love of books. I think literacy is something that often gets taken for granted. The Australian Bureau of Statistics said in 2013 that almost half the adult population of Australia struggle with literacy. And the situation is even worse among Aboriginal Australians and among refugees. Being able to read and write is a basic human right. It's the key to accessing education and employment and participating fully in society. The Australian Literacy and Numeracy Foundation provides funding, training, support and resources to individuals, families and schools who need them most. They have so many programs that are doing amazing things to try and increase literacy and numeracy in Australia, but I'm just going to tell you about the two that really stood out for me. The first is the Refugee Action Support Program. They provide support to refugee students and help them transition into the Australian education system, help them develop the literacy skills that they'll need to function in Australian society. The next program is the First Language Literacy Program. They work with Aboriginal Australian elders to help them convert oral languages into reading and writing resources. The ALNF then runs workshops in order to teach literacy in these first languages. Just for some context, in the late 18th century there were 350 to 750 distinct Aboriginal languages that were used daily, and as of the 21st century there are less than 150 left in daily use. Once they have the context for understanding languages that they're more familiar with in a reading-writing sense, it is then much easier for them to transfer those skills to English literacy. Since most of our history and way too much of our present seems to revolve around our mistreatment of immigrants and Aboriginal Australians, it's great to see some programs in place that are actually meant to help Aboriginal Australians and refugees and actually integrate them into Australian culture, especially in a way that's working with communities and is very aware of cultural erasure and doing everything in their power to be able to avoid that. You can go to alnf.org to get more information about all the amazing programs that the Australian Literacy and Numeracy Foundation provides, and you can also donate to their cause to help them out. You can also go to projectforawesome.com to vote for your favourite charities and to decide who will get funding from this year's Project for Awesome. I leave you now with a quote from one of the Warrumungu elders who participated in the ALNF program and really benefited from them. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm probably not. I'm sorry. I am alive again. Listen, you have given me language. You have given me life. I am alive again. DFTVA nerd fighters.